When the first message appeared on Marcus Hale's neural display, he thought it was a glitch. A soft ping blinked in the corner of his vision, an overlay icon, faint and ghost-like, labeled, "From Lyra," but Lyra was dead. He froze at his workstation aboard the orbital research platform, drifting quietly above the blue glow of Earth. The lab around him hummed with low power, half the system still offline after last week's solar flare. Message pulsed again. He hesitated, then blinked to open it. A screenshot unfolded across his retinal HUD, a frozen image from an old video chat. Lyra smiling. Behind her, a taxi window streaked with rain. The city outside New Geneva, Arcloge Y.TIMESTAMP. July 18, 2237, 8:42. The same morning she'd vanished, and under the image, a single line of text. "You were right. They lied." Marcus felt his stomach twist. The date was 15 months ago. He'd last seen her on that day. A hurried kiss goodbye before she left for what she called a consultancy trip. She'd worked for Helios, the largest quantum energy provider on Earth. He was a systems engineer for the United Colonies Research Division, smaller, more cautious, more ethical. They had argued. Of course, she believed Helios was building the future. Limitless clean power through zero-point extraction. He believed Helios was playing God, ripping energy from dimensions they didn't understand. She'd laughed, kissed him and said, "You worry too much, Marcus. We're not tearing holes in reality, we're threading needles." Then she'd gone. Her shuttle never landed in Geneva. Her digital trail vanished. Helios denied everything. And a month later her official death notice arrived. Now, 15 months later, here was her face frozen in time. Marcus sat back, heart pounding. His neural implant logged the image automatically, then paused. Metadata scrolled past the edge of his vision. Source, encrypted network, origin unknown, signal incoming from Earthside. Node, 08-GSV-HELIO, core, Helios core. He whispered, "Lyra, what the hell did you do?" That night, he stayed in the lab. The other technicians had gone to quarters, leaving only the sound of recycling fans and distant metal creaks. He rerouted his terminal through the satellite's maintenance uplink. Illegal, but he'd done worse. He began to trace the packet. The trail led through a dozen ghost servers, all pointing toward Helioscorp's primary research base, the Ecliptic Vault, hidden beneath the Arctic ice that it was rumored to be where they housed the Helios engine, the first working zero-point reactor, the same one Lyra had helped design. 2 hours later, another ping. This time, no image, just a data file. He opened it. A taxi receipt. Date, July 18, 2237. Origin, Helioscorp South Tower. Destination, Ecliptic Vault North Dock. Passenger LM Rains. Lyra's full name. Time, 9:15. She had taken that trip straight into the one place Helios said she never visited. Marcus clenched his fists. The taxi receipt she didn't hide. The screenshot she didn't delete. These weren't mistakes. These were breadcrumbs. She wanted him to find her. He began to piece together the fragments, combing through every recovered packet. The metadata was layered. Like an encrypted diary, each file contained a subtle hash, a fingerprint made of entangled particles, a method only Lyra used for hidden communication. He decrypted the first sequence. "Marcus, they're not extracting energy, they're extracting selves. Each quantum state is an echo of us. Each test collapses another version." He leaned forward. Echoes. Lyra had always theorized that every quantum fluctuation contained infinite possible outcomes, infinite versions of every decision. If Helios was tapping into that field, they could potentially pull energy from alternate timelines. But if her message was true, they were pulling more than that. People. The next file was a video fragment, a dim corridor, fluorescent lights. Lyra's voice whispering, "They think I don't know what the engine really is. It's not a generator, it's a gate, and something's coming through." Behind her, the floor trembled. The light flickered blue. "If I disappear, I didn't run. I was pulled." The feed ended abruptly, replaced by static and a faint, distorted scream. Marcus sat motionless for several seconds. Then he rose and crossed to the comms console. He needed to get down there. The following week blurred into motion. He filed for leave, citing system recalibration fatigue. The request went through automatically. No one questioned it. By the time Atlas 9 completed its orbit, he was already on a descent shuttle to Earth. New Geneva glittered beneath him like a circuit board. But the moment he touched down, he knew something was wrong. Helios banners hung from every tower. Security drones patrolled intersections. The city felt quieter. The hum of conversation replaced by whispers. And above all, he saw them, the flickering lights in the sky, faint blue arcs connecting the clouds like veins. The Helios engine was active. He followed the trail from Lyra's last coordinates north to the Arctic. He hired a supply hauler under a false ID and bribed the pilot to take him near the restricted zone. As they approached, the snow began to glow faintly blue. The pilot swore softly. "Ever since they turned that damn reactor on, the compasses go crazy," he muttered. "The whole region hums at night, like the air's alive." Marcus just nodded. When they neared the edge of the exclusion field, he jumped, dropping into the snow with a thermal pack and a pulse gun. The ecliptic vault was carved into the ice, a vast circle of metal plates spiraling down into darkness. Above it, shimmering auroras twisted unnaturally, like something below was bending light itself. He hacked through the first security gate easily. Helios protocols hadn't changed much. Inside, the air buzzed. He moved through empty corridors, passing darkened labs and flickering screens. Then he heard it, a voice echoing faintly through the static. Marcus. He froze. That was Lyra. He ran toward the sound. He found her standing beside a massive cylindrical chamber filled with liquid light, swirling blue energy that seemed to pulse like a living thing. For a moment, he couldn't breathe. Lyra. She turned slowly. Her eyes glowed faintly. Marcus, she whispered. You shouldn't have come. He stepped closer. You're alive. Not exactly. What do you mean? She looked toward the reactor. They pulled me through. I'm not the version you knew. I'm one of the echoes they extracted. But I remember everything. You, the fights, the good days, the way you laughed when we... She stopped herself, trembling. They made copies to stabilize the gate. Each one burned out faster than the last. But I persisted. He stared at her. How many are there? Hundreds. Maybe thousands. Some trapped in the field, some merged. She pointed to the core. That's where the others are screaming. He could hear it now, faint, overlapping whispers inside the reactor, like voices calling through water. Lyra took his hand. I sent the files because I needed someone real, someone still anchored to shut it down. He nodded, voice shaking. Tell me what to do. Together they worked quickly. She guided him to the main console, explaining how to reverse the quantum polarity and collapse the entanglement chain. Each command triggered a new surge of light, the ground trembling beneath their feet. When the final sequence began, alarms blared. Security drones flooded the corridor. Lyra shouted, I'll hold them. No, he said fiercely. I'm not leaving you again. She smiled sadly. You don't understand. The shutdown will erase every unstable echo, including me. He froze. Lyra, please. Marcus, let me end it. The chamber flared. The air split with light. He met her eyes one last time and pressed the final command. The world dissolved into blue. When he woke, the vault was silent. Snow drifted through broken ceilings. The reactor was gone, melted into glass. He stood slowly, dazed, the cold biting through his suit. On the console beside him, a small datapad flickered weakly. He picked it up. A single file played automatically. Lyra's voice, soft and calm. If you're hearing this, it means you stopped it. The echoes are free now. Energy returned to the field. Maybe one version of me survives somewhere. Maybe that's enough. Thank you for waiting for me. He looked out across the frozen landscape. The sky above shimmered with faint auroras, but no longer blue. Now they glowed gold, peaceful. He smiled faintly, tears freezing on his cheeks. Somewhere, across some distant timeline, maybe she was alive. Maybe she found peace. He turned toward the horizon, datapad clutched in his hand, and as the last of the vault sank beneath the ice, her voice echoed softly one final time. We threaded the needle. Marcus. This time, it held.